Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, part 3 of my review of the book of Boba Fett, the third and final part, of reviewing the book of Boba Fett, so yeah, so part 3 being the last. Alright, so now we've come up to the last 3 episodes, chapter 5, 6, and 7, which, I want to say that probably, because I stated that before in, part 2 that the last episodes that I reviewed, chapters 3 and 4, were 2 of my favorites, and I want to say that probably now, the next chapters, specifically, of course, chapter 5 and 6 were 2 more of my favorites. But yeah, so anyway, so we're starting off with, of course, chapter 5, and by the way, I got this recently, and of course, you have to wear this, of course, for the Book of Boba Fett, so yeah. And my Disney Plus hat, yeah. Anyway, so, Chapter 5, The Return of the Mandalorian. This was a dead giveaway in Chapter 4, a dead giveaway, because, well, it was, as Boba Fett and Fennec Shang were talking, and, kind of hinting and mentioning, because of help they're gonna need, and Din Djarin being mentioned, not by name, but still, and when the music plays, that was a dead giveaway. And we get him in the next episode, The Return of the Mandalorian. And the thing is, this episode, Chapter 5, it sets entirely on Din Djarin. We don't see Boba Fett, nothing like that. It's entirely set on Din Djarin. I think if I recall, my mom told me that probably it was for the Mandalorian fans to make them happy and, because to keep update on what Din Djarin was doing and stuff like that, I guess, but, So, in this, because, yeah, Din Djarin, as he's done before, doing bounty hunter stuff, and with the Darksaber, yep, and, that one part where, the bounty he's collecting, and he cuts that bounty in half, ugh. This was very interesting, this ringed, planet. Well, I'm not sure if it's a planet. It's not a planet, but, I saw, on YouTube, people were calling it, apparently, this kind of, concept, with a giant ringed city or whatever, first happened in Halo, which, okay, the Halo ring, I don't know, but, something like this, we see in Star Wars, which I will admit is actually pretty cool. So, alright, and, he, also meets up with, I've got it on the tablet, so I'm just pulling it up, the cast. So, let me see. Where are they? Yeah, because, those 2 Mandalorians, oh yeah, Emily Swallow, she's back as, Armorer, I think, yeah, that's how you say the name, and, Jon Favreau, voicing Paz Vizsla, and Tate Fletcher, who is the body performer of, Paz Vizsla. I think I'm saying the first name right. And, there's a challenge that happens with Din Djarin. They challenge Din Djarin, and then at one point, the armorer Mandalorian asks, each one of them, if they've removed their helmets. And, of course, Vizsla has not, but, of course, Din Djarin has, and he can't lie. And, he does say that he has, and that he's apparently declared no longer a Mandalorian. But for me, and I guess for Din Djarin, he could be a Mandalorian. He could still be a Mandalorian for all we care and for all he cares. And then he gets on board, transportation to Tatooine. We get another appearance of an RX droid, and that funny scene where he has to remove all his weapons and such and put it, in a case or whatever, and, for, baggage and such, and Din Djarin, when he's on the Star Cruiser, transportation cruiser, I want to say, shuttle, and, he comes face-to-face with this, child, the species of Greedo, and I guess it kind of reminds him, I guess, a little, feeling of, say, Grogu. In fact, earlier, Din Djarin asked the armorer Mandalorian to make a gift for Grogu, and, up to that point, when we make our way to Tatooine, and we get the appearance of Pelimoto. I think I said that full name right. And once again, played by Amy Sedaris. Yeah. It's good to see her, and even though, like, say the character Pelimoto, like, she did appear, like, in a flashback in, I believe, episode 2, yeah. Even though we don't actually see her up close, but but we do now, of course, in this episode, and this was pretty cool. That droid, from the Jedi Fallen Order game. It's not that specific droid, but it's that type of droid. And we also find out that Pelimoto, she once dated Jawa, because this one part where Pelimoto gives Din Djarin a new ship, to replace the Razor Crest, which is a Naboo, fighter, which that's really cool. It's a Naboo fighter. And they construct it and redecorate it and update it, etc. And then when it comes to flight testing, yeah, and what's so cool, Din Djarin is flying through the same locations when the pod race happened in episode 1. Even you see that one part, where Anakin crashed into that blockway or whatever it was, and that caused him to go up into the air. Yeah, we see that, and then up to when say he's in space, and then he gets I guess pulled over by these 2 X-wing officers, and one of them is Max Lloyd Jones, who actually is the body performer of Luke. So that's nice that he actually gets another role in this, and we see his face, and he has lines, and he plays Lieutenant Reed, and we get the return of Captain Carson Teva, I think I said that right, played by, once again, Paul Sun Hyun Lee. I think I got that last name right. But yeah, and it's kind of funny because he is kind of Captain Carson is slightly recognizing Din Djarin's voice, and asking him if he once flew a Razor Crest. And Din Djarin's like, no. And then, later on, after he goes into hyperspace, when he returns, Peli, asks him, well, how was it? And, he says, wizard. My mom told me that she thought that was kind of strange of him saying that, but, I don't know. I feel like we've heard that in Star Wars before. Have we not? Somebody has said wizard? Maybe, I don't know. Alright, but anyways, and of course, right before the episode ends, Fennec Shang shows up and, tells Mando that he's in need of assistance. Boba Fett is in need of his assistance, for muscle. And that's when, it's on the house, and, but first I have to pay a visit to a little friend. And that's a dead giveaway, too, because we then come, of course, to Chapter 6. Give me a second. Yeah, Chapter 6. From the desert comes a stranger. And in this, we get the return of Grogu and Luke Skywalker. Boy, this episode, I'm telling you, I was reading about this, that everybody said that this felt like Star Wars to them. Yeah, I could see why, but hold on a second. Is the entirety of the Book of Boba Fett the Book of Boba Fett? Does it not feel Star Wars to you? It does to me. What the heck? I don't know. If they mean it in a different way, I don't know. But this was a pretty good episode too, and being another one of my favorites, and especially because not only do we get to say the appearance of Grogu and Luke, but of course R2-D2 does show up, but also we get the return of Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Oliphant. Oliphant, I hope I said his last name right, but who last appeared in season 2, and now he's back in the Book of Boba Fett, and the Marshal. That's what he goes by, the Marshal. And oh boy, what else? Yeah, because when Din Djarin shows up and he interacts with R2. It's nice that, he calls R2 a friend. And, at one point they walk up to where, say, the Jedi Temple is being built, and those kind of droids, they had a name to them. Oh yeah, the ant droids. They're building what is to become a Jedi Temple, and then at one point R2 sleeps, and apparently so, like, Din Djarin has to wait, until I guess they goes to see Grogu or something like that, and that's when because because the ant droids, they build Din Djarin a little like relaxing spot and for him to, I guess, to rest until and that's when and some funny stuff like between Luke and Grogu, because Luke teaching Grogu, and like say that one part with the frogs, but also Ahsoka Tano appears out of nowhere, like, oh, that was a surprise, like, yeah, why not? The more the merrier. Just like more character, like any Star Wars character, just yeah, the more the merrier. Why not? So Ahsoka, who shows up, and that's where what's great is that what people were hoping would happen, but happened early, of course, like and in the Book of Boba Fett, in this, Ahsoka and Luke face to face, together, and like them talking and such, and a mention of Anakin Skywalker, like when Ahsoka's, after what Luke says, about Grogu, and Ahsoka's response is, "So much like your father." That's great, and and like last line she gives in the episode, and to Luke, "May the Force be with you." And also when Din Djarin arrives on Tatooine, like, okay, we do get the appearance of Boba Fett, of course. And, he makes an appearance, but he has no lines, zero. And then he makes his way to see the Marshal, asking for some help, and more people, like to join, like to taking on the Pikes, and and that one new recruit, new deputy. Now where was he? I think it was this guy. Yeah. Deputy Scott, and Deputy Scott, he was, because, and as Cobb said to Din Djarin, he's new, and he's a bit jumpy, etc. And after Din Djarin leaves, and asking for Cobb, for him and the rest to join, and of course Cobb would let him know, etc. That's when this was, another big surprise in this episode. That's right. We get the live-action debut of none other than Cad Bane. Oh, that was great. It was great to finally see him in live action. And face off against Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane, and, he wasn't listening to Cobb, and Cobb was getting pissed at him, Deputy Scott. And actually, I forgot to mention, Deputy Scott being played by J.J. Dashnaw, I think I said that right. He actually worked with Robert Rodriguez before in that Netflix film, We Can Be Heroes. He was Shark Boy, so, yeah. Anyways, but, and of course, a draw, whipping out the guns. But, Deputy Scott does it too early, and, of course, Cad Bane, shoots the Marshal first. But, of course, it was clearly noticeable. He shot him by the shoulder, while he shot the crap out of Deputy Scott. So Deputy Scott, dead. So, he's done for. He was asking to be shot, and he did. So multiple shots on Deputy Scott, while, Cad Bane, or and call him Bane for short, Bane shot Cobb Vanth by the shoulder, so, the Marshal's just is only injured, so, he didn't get killed. Again, he got shot by the shoulder. It's great because for Cad Bane, of course, he's voiced by Corey Burton. Who else would be the voice of Cad Bane? None other than Corey Burton. Corey Burton is the voice of Cad Bane for sure. The ending to the episode, well, because, okay, here's another thing. Two Pikes arrive at, because where the Twi'leks are at, and the one female Twi'lek, Garsa Fwip, yeah. they leave a container there, and, once they leave the container, and that one droid, you forgot your blah, 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 and then there's an explosion, and, well, everybody who's in there, including that one female Twi'lek, Garsa Fwip, they're dead, of course. And I quickly wanted to mention that I noticed, I don't think I noticed this in the last episodes, but in this, where there was a drummer droid. That was the first time I saw that. Yeah, and the thing is, we didn't see Max Rebo there, so that means that he survived. So, yeah. It was clearly noticeable, okay? And I think John and Dave, they knew they were smart enough, for Max not to be in there. So, anyways, so in the ending to it, oh gosh, I almost forgot the ending to it. Crap. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh God, I almost forgot. The one last sequence with Luke and Grogu, and Luke had Grogu's lightsaber, not Grogu's, Yoda's lightsaber. I'm so sorry. He has Yoda's lightsaber, and he was, gonna give it to Grogu. And the thing is, earlier in the episode, like, Din Djarin's gift to Grogu, in which, Luke reveals the Mandalorian's gift to Grogu, it was Mandalorian shirt, and Grogu has a choice. He can either go back to Din Djarin or remain with Luke and be trained as a Jedi, and if so, then, he could never see the Mandalorian again. So Grogu has to choose, and that's when we come to the 7th and final episode of Season 1, Episode 7, In the Name of Honor, and I predicted this. I predicted that this would be over 1 hour long, and technically it is, but on IMDb it says 59 minutes, but, if you go on Disney+, it says it's 1 hour long, so, yeah. Especially because with the credits, if you've noticed this, like, say, on Netflix or Disney+, any of those apps, there would be multiple other credits, like, in different languages, so, yeah. So, in Episode 7, Chapter 7, I should say, In the Name of Honor, this is where, like, the battle is happening, and, Boba Fett, against the Pikes, Cad Bane once again, and Grogu showing up, and he made his choice to go back to the Mandalorian and wearing that shirt. R2, is flying Grogu back to Tatooine, of course, yeah, R2, if it was not a person, like, in the cockpit like Luke, then, of course, a droid could pilot the X-Wing, and, of course, R2 doing that. Yeah, I remember R2 doing that. I remember one time he flew a Jedi fighter. That was in Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 2, R2 Come Home. Such a Star Wars fan, Anyways, so there's that, and of course, once again, we get the appearance of Peli Moto, Amy Sedaris, and Moto's droid crew, but also, when Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, Din Djarin, and the rest, from the biker gang and Black Chrysanthemum, they arrive and, like, say the remains of, when the Pikes caused, an explosion, and that's when, like, at one point Cad Bane shows up, and a, conversation between Bobo and Bane. Did I say Bobo? I meant Boba. I'm talking a bit fast. Yeah, this is really cool, because especially because, it's Cad Bane and Boba Fett, because you have both Corey Burton and Tamara Morrison. Yeah, that's how you say his name, I believe, Tamara Morrison, not Tamir. Anyways, but also, gosh, like, some intense stuff, I want to say. First off, like, with the Pikes and, like, say, those, like, who agreed to join Boba Fett, but then at one point, they just flat out betrayed Boba Fett, and they ambush the biker gang, they ambush Black Chrysanthemum, and at one point, Fennec Shand comes in and saves the biker gang. Black Chrysanthemum is pinned down to the floor by those lizard creatures, and also, like, the Pikes, like attacking Boba Fett, Din Djarin, etc. And at one point, Fennec Shen does leave at some point, and we don't see her like until like kind of close to the end of the episode. You know what I mean? And some pretty intense stuff. Like I was having those feelings where, oh gosh, like please don't kill the biker gang and don't kill Black Chrysanthemum. But thankfully they don't. Like even when like say the Mark Cobb Vance people come in, and they do help out and such and taking on the Pikes, etc. And up to when those like those legged kind of droids that are, gosh, they're evil droids, and they're with their powerful force shields and just firing and just, almost killing them. But luckily, of course, later on, because Boba Fett, he brings out the Rancor, and God, the Rancor, of course, does all the help, and, well, even Din Djarin does so, too, with his with his dark saber. Well, black lightsaber, but it's a dark saber. And even when, say, Grogu and, Peli show up, and, Grogu and Din Djarin, they're reunited once again, and even Grogu helps out by using the Force, I remember, my mom, when we were watching that, she commented and, said, you don't mess with my daddy, just, if Grogu would say that, and also that one scene with that one Twi'lek, I think it was Mok Shay, I don't know how you say his name, but he suggested to Boba that, make a negotiation to the Pikes, and, Boba writes it down, and for that Twi'lek to read it, and, you see the look on his face, oh my gosh, should I read this? And he reads to the Pikes, nothing, or I think that's what it says, that's what Boba wrote, and it seemed like that he was gonna get shot, but no, he didn't get shot, because, one of them shot first, before the Pike did. Anyways, so the Rancor defeating those powerful droids, and up to when, Cad Bane shows up once again, because, well, even earlier in the episode, he was talking with, the leader of the Pikes and, those other aliens that at one point did join Boba's side, but they flat out betrayed. Yeah, that sequence. And and when Cad Bane shows up again, and because even after, say, that conversation between Cad and Boba, and even when Bane revealed to Boba that it wasn't the Niktos that killed the Tusken Raiders, it was the Pikes. A fight between Bane and Boba, and even when Bane scared off the Rancor by using, his flamethrower, and when Bane almost defeats Boba, but that's when Boba gets back up on his feet, and he pins Boba to the ground and stabs him with his Tusken Raider staff, and, oh gosh, and, it seems like that Bane has been defeated, and it's like some people say he's dead, but no. I do not believe he's dead. I do not believe that Boba Fett is dead, because here's one thing. The one last shot we get of Bane, you hear a beeping sound, and on his chest, red beep, red light flashing, beep, beep. That could mean something. That could mean, say, he's not dead. It could be, say, for his heart, or it's a distress beacon. From some people say, even I agree on this. I'm on this too. That it could be a transmission to Bane's droid Toto 360 to come get him and save him. So there's that. So there's no way that they would just kill off Bane. There's no way, because again, that beeping could mean something. Either from, his heart or something, it's still beeping, it's still beating, blah, blah, blah. Or, I think 100% on this, that it's a distress beacon. Just, yeah. Yep, so there's that, excuse me. And that's when, at one point, well, they have to calm down the Rancor, but apparently they're firing out, they're shooting at it. What's that? That's not going to help. Even Din Djarin tells them not to fire. That'll just make them upset some more. But that's when Din Djarin at one point tries to calm the Rancor, but fails, and that's when Grogu comes face-to-face with the Rancor and calms the Rancor down with his Force, making him go to sleep. And it was cute, yeah, and when Grogu goes up to the Rancor and cuddles up next to it. And the epilogue. Well, because now everybody in Mos Espa has, respecting and bowing to Boba, and with the rest of, Boba's family, the biker gang, and Black Chrysanthemum. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that those two, I said three, those two Gamorrean guards, they sadly got killed. They were, forced, pushed off of a cliff, fall down a cliff. Yeah, that was a bit sad for those two poor Gamorrean guards. Yeah, oh well. And also, we cut to, say, space, and we see Din Djarin and Grogu leaving, and in the Naboo, in Din Djarin's new ship, the Naboo fighter. And Grogu just tapping on the glass and telling Din Djarin, come on, Daddy, just one more time, again. And basically, wanting to go into hyperspace. Okay, but this is the last time they go into hyperspace. And then the episode ends. And we get one mid-credit scene, during the credits. And that is, we see that Cobb Vanth is in the Bacto tank. He's being healed and such. And even that one guy who we saw in, I think it was, chapter 4, where, in the flashback sequence, Boba brings Fennec to that place, with mechanics, like repairing and, mechanical parts, we see him, he's gonna repair and fix up Cobb Vanth, I guess, on his shoulder. Because, again, that's where Cad Bane shot him, on the shoulder. Okay, but with all that being said, the Book of Boba Fett, chapters 5, 6, and 7, they were three last best episodes, of the Book of Boba Fett. Season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett was fantastic, I think, in my opinion. Well, I think everybody would think so too, yeah. And what about you guys? Did you enjoy Season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett, and are you looking forward to Season 2? As I am, just, leave comments and give this review a like as always. And I'm giving the Book of Boba Fett 10 out of 10, for sure. 10 out of 10. I'm looking forward to a Season 2, and whenever we're going to hear, if there's going to be a Season 2. Well, yeah, because obviously there's going to be, but we haven't heard any details or information yet on Season 2. One thing is, thank goodness that this is not a mini-series, because Little Blue, my dad, of course, he at one point told me that he heard that it was going to be a mini-series, but I never heard this, and even when checking on IMDb, it doesn't say mini-series. It says TV series. Looking at the Obi-Wan Kenobi IMDb page, it says mini-series. So yeah, and that's another thing, because from the looks as though after the Book of Boba Fett, the next Star Wars show we're getting, because, in terms of live action, we're getting Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I look forward to that. So yeah, and I'm sure you guys are too. So for now, and with all that being said, Part 3 being the last, and my final review on the Book of Boba Fett. Again, I enjoyed Season 1, and I look forward to Season 2, and thank you very much for watching, of my review of the Book of Boba Fett, Season 1, and until Season 2, I'll see you guys in the next video/review. Take care, peace out, and may the Force be with you.